San Diego Unveiled is a talk show solely for women.
It represents women from all over San Diego.
They come to our show to express their love and passion for what they do.
It's just a lot of inspiration, and
our voices are often sheltered and shunned, but San Diego Unveiled puts volume behind us and lets us be heard and seen in ways that has never been done in San Diego. Welcome back to San Diego Unveiled. I'm your host, Anissa Kinsey. Today's guest is extremely involved in the local film scene as well as an involved activist. She's written several articles about women's struggles in the film industry and also has a women's theater company. Please welcome Crysstal Hubbard. Crysstal with two S's, I might add.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being here. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you.
So it seems like you're also, like many of the women that we meet on this show, you're very diverse in your talents and capabilities. And you are an activist, which is interesting, a local activist here.
A writing activist.
A writing activist.
I've yet to be arrested.
Oh.
I'm still working on that one.
That's how you're safe from there, because you're writing it. They can't find you.
Opinion pieces, mostly.
Opinion pieces that are surrounding women's issues and women's rights. What got you started in this endeavor?
Well, part of it happened, I started in theater, and when I came out, I came to San Diego, and I knew there was a film community. There had been a film community, and it had gotten really quiet before I moved out, but it was still here, and there was an opportunity for women to be just as involved in men. The statistics seemed to be a little more even here in San Diego. I was very happy about that. I started working for a company that reports on a lot of films that are happening. They do red carpet interviews, they report on film festivals, they go to Comic-Cons, things like that. I started writing for them. First I started writing movie reviews, and then I branched out and I started writing follow-up pieces to documentaries or films that came out, and then I was allowed an opportunity to write an article about my impression of what the industry was like for women compared to men, and why that had happened, and the history of women in film. And of course, recent years, we've had a lot more statistics coming out, a lot more women being more vocal about this. Catherine Bigelow, of course, just a few years ago, broke the glass ceiling and was the first woman to win Best Director.
Wow.
And given the history, that was a long time coming. But I think that applies to a lot of people and a lot of minorities in the film industry.
Would you say that this passion of yours revolving around critiquing the experience of women in the film industry is one of the most important things to you?
It is important. I think it's important to understand the history of it and why it happened. When we look back the turn of the century, not the century, the one before, and we understand when film first started, when there were first film studios, actually more women than men owned film studios and made movies than men. And what ended up happening is the way we think about movies getting made today, they happen in the back rooms, and they happen over brandy and cigars.
Oh, yeah.
So when men were making bigger deals with the Vanderbilts and all of these major, what we would think of corporations today and old money, women were pushed out.
Yes, they were silenced, kind of.
Yeah, well, certainly because what women wanted to make films about became censored following that.
Yeah.
And so women lost their foothold in an industry that they were a big part of starting. And it just progressed because of what was socially acceptable for the decades after that. And because of how tight-knit the film industry is and how repetitive it is with the formulas that it follows and the way it wants to make movies based on how much money they make. Nothing much has changed in the decades following that.
Exactly, and there's so many different kinds of women that go through different things when trying to assert themselves in the film industry. You know, how with Asian women or with Asian actors, they're usually replacing them with white actors to play Asian characters instead of hiring Asian actors or having a limited pool of roles for women of color. And I think that's very special that you bring attention to those things. Do you have any projects that you're working on right now? Any articles or?
No, nothing current in the articles. I've spoken on several con panels. I'm a big nerd, so I've had the opportunity to be on several panels by several organizations revolving around new media, fan films, gotten to speak with women in comics, women who develop even screenplays and adaptations it's interesting to see how popular with how popular comic books are now, how that's bleeding into Wonder Woman movie, first $100 million movie to be directed by a woman.
Oh, that's
The
going to
movie
be
that's
incredible.
over $100 million. So that was a big deal.
That's huge.
Again,
deal.
long time
It's
coming.
Wonder Woman.
It's
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So it made sense, but at the same time, it kind of felt a little pandering.
Are you planning on attending Comic-Con yourself here in San Diego?
I am going to San Diego Comic-Con. I was fortunate enough to go last year. I was able to promote a fan film we're trying to get off the ground called, it was Supergirl Unburdened, and it's a Supergirl fan film.
What's it about?
This is a view of Supergirl where she's older. Her and, if you think about all the other sidekicks.
So she's Superwoman now.
Well, yeah.
You know,
she's-
not like Superwoman.
She's a woman.
Yeah.
She's definitely grown up
Yeah.
in this one. It's not the teenager that everybody kind of pictures when they think of Superman's cousin. And she's been through a lot, and the world is very different. It's almost a post-apocalyptic feel. And so her and the other sidekicks are put in a position where they have a choice. Are we still going to be vigilantes, or are we not?
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a more grown-up take on it. Supergirl's, of course, been a character I've known since I was a kid. And since I feel I've grown up since that time, I wanted
like
to
you're following
explore.
along with her.
Yeah, I wanted to explore what would happen when she got older.
Are you going to get into any cosplay there?
Oh yeah, I've done cosplay. I've got a bunch of Supergirl costumes. I have Harley
that's
Quinn
awesome.
costumes.
You have to show me
I have-
pictures.
yeah,
I've never gotten. I want to cosplay. I haven't gotten the chance to find a character to cosplay yet.
and of course, what's really popular is the where you blend the cosplays.
Oh
where
yeah,
you
two
have-
characters combined.
Yeah, I think my favorite was I think we called her Tinker Fett. And it was a Tinkerbell Boba Fett costume,
Oh.
and she was about this big, and it was the cutest thing I'd ever seen. It
That's
was
so
amazing
cool.
too. It
Maybe-
was this like sparkling Boba Fett costume.
Maybe you can sneak me into Comic-Con with you, and then
I have a list growing of everyone
Yeah.
who wants to get into Comic Con.
Yeah.
And the good news is there's a lot of stuff that goes on outside. I would
Oh,
really
yeah.
encourage people to try and just get down there just to see.
Oh, yeah,
Even if you can't
definitely.
get in the convention center,
Just
it's okay.
just watch people, just get the
Oh, yeah.
full experience.
Oh yeah.
What are some of your favorite cartoons in comics?
Well, my absolute favorite cartoon of all time was Batman the Animated Series, because that was a big nerddom for me
Yeah.
right there. So that was early 1990s, and of course that a lot of the people who worked on that are still making the animated movies for DC, distributed through Warner Brothers. Those ones. I was also big in anime,
oh,
and
yeah.
I hate to admit it because there are a lot of the girly animes. I did like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
I like-
Dragon Ball Z is a classic,
Yeah,
of course.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, that
was
one is artistically
So
beautiful.
brilliant.
The music and everything.
The music, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Yoko Kanno who did the soundtrack for that, for everything.
Yeah, the music
She also
perfect.
did Ghost in the Shell.
I've seen Ghost in the Shell, but I haven't committed to it. I need
That's
to
okay.
commit to it.
Yeah, that's one where you want to like sit down. You have to think
Yeah.
while you're watching it. It's a little
Yeah.
different. Some other ones, and then of course I liked Inuyasha. I couldn't help it. I feel like I have to apologize for that one. It's
You
like,
don't
no, it's
apologize for
Inuyasha.
anything.
But of course I started with Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
because they
Sailor
were
Moon I
airing
remember.
Sailor Moon when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They never aired the finale in
Oh,
the United
yeah.
States because it was taboo.
Yeah, sometimes that sucks. Sometimes,
What happened? What happened?
You follow along the story, and then they just snatch that glory right
So
from
they're
underneath
rebooting
you.
that. They're going to redo that one. But yeah, I was the end. The end was supposed to be really, really good. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but you built up for years. Why do I not get to see this? Because that's not
Absolutely.
allowed on US TV.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well,
Okay.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a lovely conversation. I just want to ask you one more thing. What do you hope for the San Diego film industry here and the film community that we have here? What do you hope that it blossoms into as the years go by and more people get involved?
I hope that it finds good leadership and organizations. It used to have great potential to be one of the most thriving hubs of filmmaking. And if we patterned ourselves not after Los Angeles, but maybe someplace like Atlanta, and how they promote, how they encourage, the incentives that they have, or even Vancouver, then you would look at an industry that felt encouraged. These are people in an industry, they understand they're very mobile, they're very capable of moving. I really wish we would take that example and go forward, but we need good leadership and more opportunities.
I'm sure the perspectives of brilliant women like yourself and everyone else who is going to become part of this melting pot in San Diego will take it exactly where it needs to go. All these different perspectives is exactly what the film world here needs, definitely. But thank you so much for joining us today. We have to watch some anime sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
Have some popcorn or
We'll do some
snacks.
commentary.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today, Crysstal. You're definitely an inspiration. No matter what you stand behind, remember that your voice is powerful and there are many ways to express it. Until next time, San Diego, stay safe and stay classy.